Welcome. The following is an English translation of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. The translation has been based upon the text, 4 Chapters of Freedom. Let's focus on Chapter 2, Sadhana Pada. Methods of purification with earnest effort, self-study, and surrendering to a higher source are all practices of yoga in the practical sense, and this is referred to as Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is to be practiced with the purpose of developing enlightenment and for thinning out the causes of afflictions. Practiced regularly, it also overcomes afflictions. Causes of pain are due to ignorance, self-absorption, a negative outlook, and having a fear of death. Often pain is not rooted in the present mind, but it's being far back, stuck in the past. One may be ignorant in that they are not aware that they're following a path which causes pain. Some afflictions may be gross or subtle. Often it can be observed in others, but challenging to see in ourselves. There is an illusion, like a veil that covers perception. A person can make a mistake. The mistake is made when one considers something is good when it may be bad. Some people move through life with the lens of seeing and experiencing only what is tangible to touch. Others move through life in the same world, experiencing subtle nature of things which give rise to perspective and understanding. There can be the experience of enjoyment of pleasure. There can be the experience of aversion to pain. There can be the experience of the desire for life, also the experience of having a fear of death. This experience is very powerful, even for the most practiced. Afflictions and tensions can be reduced. Afflictions and tensions can be reduced through the practice of meditation. New experiences in life can bring about new pains. The experience of pain can bring new afflictions which can be ruminated upon and create its own pain. The remedy is to action, which is a new experience. This becomes a cycle. This cycle can span across lifetimes. To know the practice of yoga enables the fruits of your life to ripen, no matter the circumstances that you may be born into or how long or short your life may be. The fruits of life can be bitter or sweet. Your action and efforts through the practice of yoga over lifetimes influence your life to be one of suffering or of happiness. Everything in life can be painful. There can also be pain within happiness. A person may appear happy, yet underneath there may be an experience of pain. Present suffering has to be processed and attended to so it doesn't cause future pain. The fruits of your harvest require action today. Identification with a problem does not mean that you are the problem. The union of an identity enmeshed with a problem will only prolong suffering and induce future suffering. Everything in nature exists as being of three qualities which cycle around. These are vibration, motion, and inertia. These three qualities may be experienced via our senses to understand the physical world, or they may be experienced in the mind. There are 4 stages that define the process of superconsciousness. These are the mental state of experiences, the astral state which supports the mind, the causal consciousness, and the last state being one which is without any defining mark, being the infinite, the all-seeing. The state of all-seeing is one of pure consciousness. It is an acute awareness of everything, where one is awake to all that life offers. It can be difficult to understand the experience of being a seer, as there is a veil that prevents many from comprehending the experience of life in this way. Life is anything and everything that can be experienced through the senses, yet many do not notice. Seeing and knowing is engaging in what you witness and experience in just being. Life is doing. Awareness is being. After a yogi experiences liberation and no longer is tied to the world continues to exist for others. In the union of experiences with a deep awareness, allows the seer to experience life to its full potential. Identifying with experiences is confusion. When you believe that you are your experiences, your stories, and your body, confusion surrounds you, leading you into an endless cycle of suffering and afflictions. Freedom arises from removing confusion. When your activities and ways of being occupy all of your internal environment, your awareness is completely entangled in your experiences. Calmness is the balm to afflictions. Agitation recedes, allowing the calmness to be noticeable. As a result of constant practice of self-knowledge, awareness will develop. This awareness is a dual awareness. Mindfulness is the noticing of the fundamental difference between experience and consciousness, or between the being and doing. Inability to distinguish the difference leads to confusion, misidentification, and suffering. Mindfulness leads to liberation. There are 7 stages to liberation. These are: an awareness that suffering can be avoided, awareness of the causes of suffering and elimination of them, cultivation of inner peace, cultivation of clarity and discernment, awareness of the purpose of experiences in all things, knowing that they can be a path to liberation, liberation of the mind and of the heart. Then there is the desire to manipulate the forces of nature, that they recede. Lastly, the practitioner embodies an effortless harmony between life and consciousness. The practice of yoga in its 8 limbs inevitably removes impurities, increases wisdom, and establishes conscious discrimination. Through practice, there is the noticing where there are deficiencies in one's attitude, posture, movement, breathing, thinking, feeling, and interactions. The 8 limbs of yoga are opening your mind, opening your heart, optimizing the functioning of the body, improving the flow of vital energy, clarifying the senses, focusing the mind, effortless focused attention and integration. Yoga is a complete system for improving the quality of life. The wise ways to eliminate tension are love, integrity, equity and generosity, curiosity and reverence for life, and a balance of abundance with simplicity. A disciplined life, when practiced, allows appreciation and honors the interdependent nature of life in all of its forms and manifestations. They should be practiced regardless of your birth, place, time, and circumstances. Wise ways to reduce struggles are clarity, contentment, enthusiasm, wisdom, and humility. When troublesome thoughts and emotions arise, one should practice pondering upon the opposites. Suppression will not do. Choosing not to engage in negative and violent thoughts, emotions, or actions at any level prevents pain, imbalance, and suffering. A person established in love and compassion is a peaceful and positive influence for all that they encounter. A person that has integrity and is truthful is effective and efficient. A person who is honest, equitable, and generous is prosperous. A person who cultivates curiosity and reverence for life develops great vitality and enthusiasm. This is the key to being young at heart. When a person appreciates the balance of abundance and freedom from cravings, they recognize a sense of impermanence. This clarifies the purpose of life and gives an insight into the past and to the future. Reflecting upon material possessions in your life that bind you are important. Developing cleanliness mentally, physically, and emotionally leads to better functionality, which includes habits and attitudes towards oneself and others. Through the practice of cleanliness, the fruits of increased serenity, a joyful attitude, and pointed concentration leads to sense control and understanding of your true nature. Joy comes from the practice of contentment. Cultivating enthusiasm through removing inefficient patterns in the body, mind, and emotion heightens all senses and abilities. Tempering the body and mind creates an ability to endure with ease. The closing of the eyes to observe oneself with practice leads to experiencing union. Giving up the illusion of control leads to surrender and union. Steady and comfortable should be the posture chosen for meditation, as should all other postures chosen in the physical practice of yoga. A loosening of effort to be both steady and comfortable in the body while practicing the postures of yoga, while the mind is concentrated, is necessary. There is freedom in moving away from engaging with the binary. When you are endless and unified, you transcend your limited sense of bound definitions, moving beyond a sense of identity, such as I am this or that, I like this and not that. There is just existence, just to be, everywhere. Pairs of opposites disturb the mind. Regulating the breath through specific practices of inhalation, exhalation, airflow and holds promotes optimal body function, improves energy and mental clarity. Care and patience is necessary in mastering the breath. Breathing becomes long and subtle when inhalation, exhalation, and retention are observed precisely with considerations to place of practice, time of counts, and number of rounds. Breath work is taught by the yoga teacher to the student. The right practice should be prescribed for the right effect. When there is mastery of breath work, an effortless or spontaneous holding of the breath leads to joy and union. Through the practice of breath work, an inner light of awareness becomes brighter. Through practicing breath work, the mind is ready for concentration. The capacities of the senses, smell, taste, sight, touch, and hearing are withdrawn from the objects, and the mind follows inwards towards peace and inner sensitivity. When we turn our minds from the outer world to the inner world, we come to know that there is an infinite facet of existence in us which can only be experienced in bliss. It is not approachable through the intellect. It is only experienced through a regular practice of the system of yoga.